Put that right, you have to get the macro working. And one point I should make, these two legislative actions taken, the Central Bank Act and the Public Finance Management Act, I think we all need to protect them for all we are worth, because politicians will find them inconvenient. You know, after the crisis, they probably felt they had to do this, and it is also part of the IMF program which we crucially need. But as time goes on, they will feel tempted to dilute those acts, which means they are trying to go back to the same playbook which has put us in trouble again and again. Einstein said the definition of insanity is to do the same thing again and again and expect different outcomes, which is what we have basically been doing. So these laws must be protected. So you're asking me, okay, so in terms of going forward, hopefully if the laws are in place, we'll get a more stable environment and people can make investment decisions based on a more stable environment. But in terms of the prospects of the sector, we need to have growth in the economy. If you have a growing, buoyant economy, automatically that flows through to the public sector as well. And that is what we have not been good at. We have not been good at doing the structural reforms to get sustained growth. We create these sugar highs through unsustainable macro policies. Then from day one, we have already sowed the seeds of instability and crisis further down the line. But if we can do the structural reforms, and what do I mean by the structural reforms? Things like the investment climate, SOE reform, investment promotion, trade policy, trade facilitation, education, training skills, you know, these are well known. In the 1980s, I was seconded from the central bank to the finance ministry to work for the late Mr. Ronnie Dimel was finance minister. So I became his bag carrier and followed him around. And he was talking about exactly these things 40 years ago. And we still haven't done it. So then you have to ask, why is it we haven't done it? I can think of two reasons. One is the gestation period for these structural reforms tends to be quite long, often more than one political cycle. So there is no real incentive for politicians to get them done. But probably the bigger, more significant reason is that while these reforms benefit many people, there will also be some very powerful losers. Few of them, but they're very powerful. And they have a vested interest in the status quo. And time and again, they block the reforms. So we don't get these reforms done, and we don't get sustained growth. But if we're able to get sustained growth and keep these fiscal and monetary policy rules intact, then I think we'll have a much more stable environment within which people can make their investment decisions.